We're going to do a Wall Street letter opener to match the Wall Street pins, and especially the first one I did at WoodCraft, which was Bocote wood, which I really like. The pin is fairly straightforward. You just kind of put together the two ends. The letter opener screws in right there. However, the cap on the left side that I'm fitting right now will become interesting toward the end of the video, so you'll have to watch and see what happened. But we'll take it and we'll mark the blank and we'll get it cut on the bandsaw. I think I need a new blade on my bandsaw. I think it's been a while since I put one on. I'll have to get one going. But cut. Yeah, we'll go and mark it real quick. Speed it up a little bit. Before we take it over to the drill press. Alright, it's the same drill that's used for the Wall Street pins, which was rather nice. And just going along cleaning it out, making sure I don't blow it out at the bottom. There it went. Alright, now we'll start gluing up. I sped this process up. As always, I use a scale for doing the epoxy. Weigh it out equal parts, then mix it up. I use a popsicle stick and little plastic cups. And then put the epoxy on. And go get my alcohol rag. Dab it, make sure the ends are clear. And then we wait. And if you look at the cup, as always, you'll see it start turning. The longer you wait, the darker it gets. It'll turn almost a dark orange if you just let it sit there for a few hours. But this is about 10 minutes. It's a 5-minute epoxy. But you can see the part on the right side, the popsicle stick's starting to get real dark. And it heats up, but the longer you wait, of course, it'll cool down. And I like to keep the popsicle stick in the plastic cup because it gives you an indication what's going on with whatever you're gluing up. So if it's hard as in the plastic cup like that, you're ready to roll. So let's go and get it sanded off and get it down to the tubes. Put a new sand disc on. And I rotate it, touch it down a little bit. That's good. That one's going to take a little bit of sanding. But instead of holding in one spot, I always flip it and then oftentimes move it down a little bit. So, tubes are done. Let's get going on the lathe. So we get on the lathe and get it mounted up. Same bushings as the Wall Street pin. I've got this sped up too. Bring the tailstock up and lock it all down. Get a little pressure on the mandrel. I'm using a semi-curved carbide tip tool that I just got. Got to speed it up. There we go. Does very nice work. Very easy to use. As I get closer, I'll start taking real light passes on it. Makes it easier to sand, that's for sure. And that one's almost there. I'll work my way over to the other end that needs some. Now you see that one spot right there is flat. So I have to take a little more off of it. Doesn't take a whole lot though. I wanted a little bigger around the middle than the two ends, so taking some off is fine. You can see that smoothed it right out. And we'll get on sandpaper here. And I'll start off with 150. It turned out very smooth, the wood did, with that carbide tip. So there wasn't any reason to go below the 150. 150 took care of it very well. And of course, always go with the grain afterwards. You'll get circle marks on it, so take those off with the grain. And I'll wipe the dust off of it to make sure that doesn't start getting sanded in. And I'll go to 400. It's very smooth. You can feel it with your finger, with the sandpaper. You can tell real quick if you've got a bump on it or anything. Again, I'll wipe it off to get the dust off of it and then go with the grain laterally. This is sped up, I think, 8 times. And I think here I stop and I get a little alcohol to clean the grain out a little bit. Yeah, see, you got a little dust residue still hanging on there. So I cleared it off with some alcohol and then let it spin dry real quick before I kept on sanding with it. And then I started with the 800 on the sandpaper. It's almost like burnishing it. It's turning very, very smooth. Didn't take much. Then I'll clean it off again with alcohol. Make sure it's cleaned. Then we'll spin it a little bit, let it dry. And we start using the sanding sealer. And I think I put 2 or 3 coats of it on. Yeah, there's another one. Starting to look very good. And we start polishing it. Polish is a friction polish. So you'll see me put a little pressure on it. I like the grain. There's a couple little knots in it that's right there. I thought it was really cool. Real little itty bitty knots. Another coat of polish. And then I think we got another one. Yep. And I think that's about the end of the polish, and I think we'll polish it one more. Yep, there we go. That'll be the end of the polish. Do some friction on it. And it looks very nice, very smooth, came out really well. So let's go put it together, except there's a little problem. When I went to put it together, the cap, you have to take about a 64th or so off of the blank itself in order for the cap to fit on. The cap actually fits over the tube, not the inside of the tube, but the outside of it. So you have to take off just a little bit. If I read the instructions, it would probably help. I don't have a parting tool, but I do have a set of chisels. And I took a small chisel and I put a mark on the end of it where I needed to go. And I just kind of worked the edge into the wood. And it seemed to do the job, but I do need to get several sizes of parting tools. It'll work. It'll get down to the metal here right about now. So wasn't the greatest, but it worked. And the end, I'll size the end, make sure that's enough. You can see where it comes off, and then the cap, yep, looks like the size is right. All right, let's put things together then. So we'll go over to the press and start putting it together, and I lay it out how it goes. And that's the end that I had to cut, and the tube goes inside right there. So we'll press it in first. We'll just do the collar, and I'll get things lined up. And I think I've only used this press a few times. You'll see the handles down, and I'll figure that out here in a minute. That I'll push the handle back up and readjust it. Yep, okay, put the handle up. There you go. It's a nice press. It's adjusted very quick. And lined up, pressed it down, made sure, twisted around, we're good. Then I decided to put the collar on the top and not do the whole tube, or the cap, I mean. Put the part that the letter opener goes on and leave that cap to last. I didn't want any more pressure on it than needs to be. It's rounded and hollow. So that goes on smooth and quick. Then the sleeve goes over, then the cap, and I'll flip it around to the plastic end. There you go. And it goes on rather easily. Then the letter opener just screws right in. It tightens up very well. Turned out very nice. Blank was good, even there at the end where I had to do a little adjustment on it. Still worked out very well. Finish is very happy with the finish. I like those little knots and the grain in it. The Bocote, I'm getting to be a very big fan of it. So again, very happy with it. I have a picture coming up of the pin that I made it, the first one I ever made. And kind of why I got this letter opener is to match it up. And it did very nice set, nice little set right there. So thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody. Please subscribe. Hit the like button if you like the video. Leave a comment or two if you like. I'll get back and answer. And the next video we'll do a segmented pin blank that I got. So stay tuned and keep in touch.